and I picked up in the rain or whatever, somebody had misplaced the chair, or I picked up the wrong chair, and as I'm picking up and about to bring it down, I'm thinking,
this is a little heavy.
This is a bit heavier than it should be.
Subscribe to the podcast, KFC Radio on YouTube.
Bang.
How we doing?
I saw you on Seth Meyers last night. I saw how well dressed you were. I was worried.
Come on, okay. Well,
you look sharp as hell. I was like, fuck, I know he's gonna think we look like slums.
Oh, dude, sometimes
it's funny when people come from there to here. It's like
they send over clothes for you. It's not, you know what I mean?
Oh, you didn't pick that out yourself?
How that works?
Well, they give you choices, but they send them over, to the hotel, which was nice.
Oh, all right. We don't do that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's a little look behind the curtain. So they just be like, A, B, C, pick your...
Nobody dresses themselves in this.
Interesting.
You run through them all. Not even The Rock dresses himself. You think he's kind of picking that out? No.
That's bullshit, then, by the way. Some of these guys that I think are like fashionistas are just like putting on whatever they tell them to.
Yeah, their new styles. No.
Interesting. Good to know. Good to know, man.
The Rock might look like he dresses himself sometimes. He was on the red carpet the other day in 3 separate shades of red. And it was like,
no, The Rock's not dressing himself. No.
When you're just hanging out, not on camera, not doing anything, what's your kind of look? Like, are you just like a
jeans and t-shirt?
Jeans and t-shirt. All right. How about this? When you wrap up the day, whatever it is you're doing. Do you change into sweatpants at your house, or do you stay in your jeans?
No.
That's my guy.
Wait.
No.
Do you
dude,
stay in the jeans?
No. Well, no. I'm dressed. I'm keeping it tight with the wife, man. But you have to. You got to keep the fire burning.
You can keep the fire burning in sweatpants,
no,
man.
You can't, dude. No.
Listen.
No, you can't.
Listen. You put on some great sweatpants.
You want to go and see what the postman's doing, hombre? Get out of those sweatpants, mate. When I go home to Australia, it's budgie smugglers. The Speedos. I only get
Budgie smugglers. I like that one. Yeah. I never even heard that one before.
Haven't you?
No.
Heard that?
Budgie smugglers is a new one.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some slang, like Australian slang that I don't know. Even like English, British, Irish. I know some of that, but all the way across the world, you guys are saying some shit I've never even heard of.
We had a couple of prime ministers that were famous for getting around their budgie smugglers. You know what I mean? It takes something to stand there like that.
Yeah, I mean to just let it out.
In your smugglers, you know what I mean?
I can't even imagine a prime minister doing that.
Flop out. It's a vote getter. It is.
Did you imagine some of the guys we've had running this country recently in fucking Speedos, dude?
No, but listen, we're going to talk about the state of the economy in the Ukraine. Hang on, here comes the prime minister out of the surf right now. Well, listen, mate.
When I was growing up, I went to the same beach as my principal in elementary school, and
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Fall River, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
and it was they say like you're seeing a teacher out of context is always weird to a child.
Yeah.
And my principal wore budgie smugglers.
Budgie smugglers, yeah.
So I'd be at the beach being like, "Is that Mr. Kelly? What the hell is going on?"
That seems like
dude, you gotta come on, you gotta
can't work with
respect
kids
for that. No, you gotta.
You can't be working with kids and wear that around town.
Come on, you come out of the Atlantic in October. You know what I mean? September, October, and smugglers.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
That's where he gets respect. I'm like, he's just like me.
It's not much to smuggle when it's that cold out there.
I've swum up in Mass. I did Chappaquiddick, and we shot in December up there. And I had to go out at 2 a.m. in the morning off the coast there in the dark, dude, and it was so cold in December.
That's I've done the polar plunges out there on the vineyard. I've done them up on like the Jaws Bridge.
But that's like boom, boom, right? How long are you in there?
No, I was out there for a while,
dude.
Because you're sitting out there, and it's like, don't worry, Jace, there's a dive. I mean, it's like 2 a.m. You just come for another shot. It's like, come on, let's. Because I'm wearing Ted was swimming in what he was wearing that night. So I got the loafers on and the cargo pants and the polo.
Shit.
And it's just like, come on, let's just run. We're running out of time. And we're going to wrap. Get out there. There's a diver out there somewhere. I'm not fucking kidding, dude. And it's December. The water temperature then.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? You okay? You want to do it? There's no way. You ready? Yeah, I think we're ready. Yeah, you just head on out. And it's just fucking pitch dark, dude.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. That's
it is dangerous. And the diver's out there, and I hear him, but I get out there and it's dark, and it's like, come on, they're still sitting up on the beach. And I was like, where are you? Doug. Oh, mate, I'm over here. And I couldn't see him for shit. He's ages away. And I'm treading water out there in the dark, waiting for the signal. Is that the signal? I don't know, mate. My radio, I don't know. I'm like, we're out. Oh, it's a fucking debacle.
How long were you like in the water for total?
Quite a while.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Is that the most dangerous thing you've done on set before? I mean, I imagine Everest had some crazy shit.
Yeah, you do some crazy stuff. But I've got to say, in the dark water.
That's creepy.
And there was that website where somebody sent me those things where they're tracking the great whites.
Sharks. Yeah.
Watch out,
it's a joke. It's just like, and you see there's a couple of pings out there. When there's nobody around, they go, the diver's with me. Doug, where are you? I'm over here, mate. I'm trying to get a shot. It's black, Doug. They can't see you. Get over here.
I would imagine filming for Winning Time in sunny LA is a little bit better than that.
We had a really cool time on this shoot. I mean, you don't get a chance to have that much fun on a set of this this size and scale. Mm-hmm. There were 4 hair trailers with wigs. Oh man, it was wig central. No, it really was.
The hair in that era.
No, the hair was good, wasn't it?
Awesome.
A few things. I think I had 4 wigs in the end. You know what I mean? And that comb over and the thing that he had.
There's a specific scene in the trailer where you see Jerry Buss like combing the comb over.
There's
and
another
it's
great
like,
one with Chick Hearn dyeing his hair.
Yeah.
But men going, I mean, I got to say, men really go to town on the hair and getting it right.
Yeah.
And the sensitivity to the bald patches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, men in the hair trailer are fucking great. And you learn very on to just have a laugh about it, on TV, some hair in a can.
Right.
They get the spray.
Powder,
damn, man. Just keep going with that, baby. Keep going. You know what I mean?
Make a whole new fucking thing of hair.
It's in the budget. Yeah, give me thick. I remember doing, there's another film where I had to go in the water in another river, the Mississippi in November. And my stunt double did one thing where a boat had to kind of try and run me over. And I remember saying, dude, he's got a bald patch at the back there, guys. Can we do something about it?
I don't want anybody thinking that.
Yeah, there's a bald patch at the top. It's like, fucking no way, hombre.
That really is, I mean, for guys, it's the hair, man. When the hair starts going, it's...
Yeah, they were big in their hair and the men.
Yeah.
They really were. And even in the... Have you guys seen some of it?
No, we've seen just the trailer.
Well, wait till you see it. I mean, the dress, the loafers, the leather,
that
the bling,
era was so
the
cool.
Gold. Yeah. There was a pride about really stepping it out.
Yeah.
And even there's a whole sequence where I think who was it? One of the basketball players are doing like dodgy movies or got a premiere and they all get dressed up. They go to their tailor in LA and get the threads on. Come on, country boy. He takes Magic down and gets him dressed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coats, everything. They went big. It was like there was no sweatpants, man.
I feel like that. I feel like that era right now is being like particularly glamorized. And maybe it's like in my own head, like projection. But like I was just in Vegas and I went out to Old Vegas.
Yeah.
And we were at like the Golden Nugget and I was like, this is cool. Like this is like
men were men and dressed like ladies.
Where the set's wobbled. Yeah. It really is wobbling. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a pretty fascinating time. Even like when we said that. It's like, now, in soccer, you've got countries buying football teams.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so I think it was Rodney that made a thing. Back in those days, it was a used car salesman buying a sports team. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
A Jerry Busker. And now, I mean, the amount of money that is in sports and the amount of branding and schmickness and everything that's gone on.
Yep.
And and players dominating trades and telling what's going on. And
it's become... It's sports entertainment at this point. You become like a movie star.
Well,
I
he
mean,
bought
and
that
some
in,
of this,
yeah.
when you have lifelong owners, it's like he bought this team for like $235,000 back in whatever, and now it's worth like $3 billion.
Yeah,
I mean, it is truly staggering how much of a enterprise it's become, and that's what's it's like that era is. There's a lot of that dress and that style, but those guys like the Showtime Lakers were.
Yeah,
doing it. They were flashy.
They
were
They?
flamboyant. They were as like an Australian guy. Did you watch basketball? Did you have any? Yeah. So like, did this mean anything to you? Like as obviously as an actor you want to do it, but like you didn't know about the Magic and Showtime Lakers. No. Yeah.
Well, not to that level. You knew of it, Bird and Magic and all that.
Right.
But you just didn't know that. I mean, it was tape delayed.
Right. That's what's crazy.
Crazy.
To think that those were the guys. It's not that long ago that were like, this has to be live because we got to see these guys.
And Jerry West and Elgin Baylor getting in the back of a pickup truck and going around and saying, "Come and watch us play, free tickets," and stuff like that. And you go.
And then
it comes down to people that make it in the end, don't it? I mean, these individuals made the LA Lakers, which bought LA
they made the NBA.
Yeah,
they turned.
They did. I mean, that's one thing we do show, and it gives respect to what Magic, particularly, did for basketball and did for sports.
I mean, they were tape delayed and begging for fans, and within 10 years, you've got Jordan and everything.
You got Jordan and everything.
Like,
it's just like a different
overnight.
game,
It became like the biggest force in all sports.
Yeah. He gave a lot. That whole thing. I mean, they all come along. Even he revived Kareem's career, or Kareem's love to play. This dude with a big smile came in, and now changed Jerry.
That was a lot of the on the court stuff. How much do they dive into the off the court shenanigans?
There's only so much you can do on the court.
Because it is based on Jeff Pearlman's book. Is that correct?
Based on Jeff Pearlman's
book. Because he goes all in with the sex parties and the orgies.
I don't think. Look, the whole world's going to look through its own, fractured eyeglass of how we view the history now, and that's going on everywhere, going back all the way, way back in history, and that's going to happen. But I don't see the need to judge people just through your own understanding of the world. I mean, the 80s is looked at a lot as comedy and fashion or this and all that, but these people changed a lot. You go back and you read, Russell, I had a mind blank. Bill Russell's book, his friendship with Red Auerbach. Mm-hmm. You go back and you read Kareem's book with his friendship with John Wooden. And they changed a lot. Yeah, they really did. Not just sports and money and entertainment and all that, but like their contribution to where we are and where we're headed is immense.
Sure.
And they've all gone on to be. I mean, Kareem's one of the greatest writers now of our the film business and thinkers and. Jerry's gone on to have a deeper love of basketball now, not just as somebody to make money, but he gives back his relationship with Kobe and a lot of, mentorship, and he's moved on to different teams now. Mm-hmm. He's learned to love being the logo in a way, not the figuratively.
Having the nickname the logo is pretty fucking awesome.
It really is, yeah. I've had guys occasionally call it out, yo, logo! Damn, that's
so so again, getting that role, you were aware of Jerry West and who he was at that point? Did you dive in once you got the role?
Yeah, it was like the first, I knew who he was, but, it's when my agent rang up and just said, my God, they want you to play the logo, dude. They want you to play the logo. He was a basketball nutter.
Out. Right.
Yeah, he really was. And I went down and I sat with Max, who wrote it. And he just, he talks about Jerry's book and where Jerry's coming from. And his autobiography is a great. If you haven't read it, West by West is a great read. He narrates it with his son as well, and so they read it really well, and it examines of why Jerry just taking a look at himself in retrospect of why he is and why he was the way he was and why for a long time basketball was everything in terms of taking him out and making him and giving him everything, but it also tormented him and why it drove him nuts, and then you start to go into what it is like to be an athlete, and then your relationship with your children, and the things that sacrifice you give up, or you don't realize you're giving up, or that you don't do properly, or you need to win.
I think that's very cool that you admit that you really weren't a fan or weren't knowledgeable, and now it's clear you're exceptionally knowledgeable. I feel like a lot of actors would be like, oh yeah, ever since I was a kid, I was a huge fan. You're like, no, I didn't know much, but I took it very seriously, and I've learned a lot about it.
Yeah, it's a great story. Once again, I mean, and it's the period as you come into the 70s and the 80s. I went back into Jerry in the 60s and stuff like that. But you learn the progression of. I think I love soccer. I'm a big soccer fan, and soccer was a gift to a lot of the world, particularly Latin America, Brazil and Argentina. You just go and you see these kids in Africa as well. And I think basketball is America's sporting gift to the world.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the change between the leather ball in the 50s. Where it had to be played in a hard court and the ball was, it was expensive, to when it became plastic and like anybody could pick it up and play it and bounce it anywhere. And then you see now it's everywhere. You go into any sports ground anywhere in the world.
Well, that's the beauty of basketball is that you don't have to have $500 of equipment.
Yeah.
You don't have to rent out rink time at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like anybody that's got a rim and
and that's what Jerry did, man.
And something to dribble
just
on,
some
you can
hard
play.
Dirt.
Yeah, right.
And
not even pavement. People playing in the fucking farms.
Yeah. And then you watched it, because I went to the Lakers the other night with John C. Reilly and I went. We sat down courtside, and you're so close to the players there.
It's a freakish
you're never
event.
not that close to the players. and you see their athleticism, you know. And I've been like some of the guys I went to get ready. I started, I trained with the basketball team to begin with, just to kind of get into some shape. And some of these guys, they're ex-professional players.
Yeah,
they'd come charging down the court, just like,
yeah, man, dude, sitting courtside.
Oh, they were great.
When you see guys who are 6, 7, 8, 9, now like 10, who can move,
exploding.
It's like. Yeah, this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah,
it looks like you're watching a movie, but it's right there in real time.
Right there
crazy.
in front of you.
Yeah.
The other thing that kind of struck me is because I go to big games in Europe, in England. I go and watch Arsenal play.
Oh, you're an Arsenal guy.
Yeah, big Arsenal fan. And then, but here you're so close. It's like theatre. You're relating to the fans. LeBron's talking around and they're talking to the fans.
Yeah, they're right
there. I was
there.
really struck by how well behaved on the whole it is. I mean, you go to a football game in Australia or in England, it's rough.
Yeah.
Thank God the players can't hear you. What's going on?
Right.
But here, it's actually there's a few moments of this, but on the whole, everyone's here is really well behaved.
Yeah. Well, the NBA had the Malice at the Palace. You familiar with that?
The what?
The Malice at the Palace.
The Malice at the Palace.
In Detroit, it was their arena was called the Palace at Auburn Hills. Yeah. And there was one time where somebody threw something off the court and it hit player Ron Artest. He jumped in the stands and there was
I remember that. Yeah, Ron.
But that's that was a big deal. Guys got suspended for entire seasons.
Yeah,
and I'm sure because of suspensions in that, it kind of stays in order. But for the most part, it's kind of shocking that shit doesn't happen like every night. Because there are assholes and they're drunk and they're losing money on bets and and I'm surprised it doesn't happen every night.
Dude, I was impressed.
People are pretty well behaved.
To America. Yeah, I thought it was very well behaved. No, but seriously.
Well, you know what I think it is? It's like players are probably like, I'm not going to go in the stands because I'm going to lose millions. And fans eventually are like, I don't want that 6'9" freak of an athlete specimen man coming at me. So I'm just going to shut my fucking mouth now.
The dude's a big...
Yeah.
But just because there was one ball that came through, I thought, oh, damn, that's going to break my nose.
Yeah.
LeBron just grabbed it right in front of me and you go, well, okay.
Yeah.
It's quite unique, though. It really is.
Yeah. So I feel like my favorite of your work, which is... you got a deep resume, but I feel like Brotherhood is very like the fans of Brotherhood are we wanted more of that. We loved that. Where does that how do you feel about that part of your career? Because I think it's a weird.
It's everything.
Yeah,
it's everything. That was my first job here.
Really?
Was it? Yeah. That was that changed my life.
Interesting.
On every single level. I remember.
What year was that?
That was 2002 or 3.
It was like I remember because I'm from Fall River, which is in the Providence area.
Yeah.
So you must have really
Rhode Island. Yeah. Give me a hammer. Give me a fucking hammer. Give me a hammer.
Right. So I'm like 15 minutes from Providence, and I remember my uncle sitting me down as like a kid. Like in 2002, I was probably 13, and being like, he's like, "This is the show."
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, being like, this is awesome, but you should not have me watching this. like, my mom would be mad if she knew you would have me watching this. But Tommy Caffey, I feel like, was almost the first, Tommy Shelby.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like the badass fucking guy running the show.
Well, and I love that he wasn't Italian. You know what I mean? I was so sick of the Italian mob movies, and The Sopranos was so big, and I never really cared for that. And but Brotherhood was like, all right, the Mix are doing it now. The regular guy.
It was a great show, dude.
Yeah.
And
it was based on more or less the Bulges.
Yeah, the Bulges.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we couldn't shoot it in Boston for a whole bunch of. And look, Rhode Island was I love Rhode Island, dude.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I made so many good friendships there. It's a fascinating.
Did you film
part
in
of
Providence?
We shot in Providence.
No shit.
All over Rhode Island. The state
Actually,
were amazing
what?
to us.
I've been rewatching recently, and I feel like I almost saw like Providence Place Mall, kind of like a reference to that.
We shot everywhere, dude. There, and then. I used to go down to Newport and Little Compton. I loved it down there.
Oh, that's where my parents live now.
Oh man, I almost bought a farm on Little Compton. I regret not doing it.
No shit.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Where's home for you now?
LA, and then I have a French wife, so we live in Paris, and then Australia. And we go, travel around. But
look at you.
Well, dude,
living in
Paris. Doing well, Jason.
if you get out,
I eat baguettes in the morning. Okay.
Too bad you didn't get that farm in Little Compton.
Just instead, I live at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Dude, maybe it's time to get out of the sweatpants.
Fuck you, Clarke. Fuck you. Yeah, I mean, by the way, it's like when you're buying farms and you've got the Parisian mansion and you live in Australia, I think you probably put the sweatpants on. I don't think your wife's gonna be. I think you guys are good. I think you're fucking
the
fine.
budgie smugglers. Break it up.
Get the smugglers out.
But it's a fascinating part of America, you know. I mean, the legislature was part time. You know, no, but you know what I mean. So they got to work. They all got jobs.
Yep.
So you drive around and they're having to deal with. The state is so small and so intimate. And I mean, I mean, they were so good to us. We had such a good time. There's still stuff shooting there. You go up and you look at the mansions, the tennis up there at Newport.
Yeah, yep.
The cinema, the summertime when it breaks out.
Did some shooting clays there this weekend, in fact.
Huh?
I did some sporting clays there this weekend.
Oh, did you? Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, technically.
I technically was sporting clays. I hit 0 things, but
it's fun though, that isn't it?
It was really fun. I was really bad at it.
Yeah. And then you start to find that rhythm. I've done it too. I did it in New Zealand the last time.
I was gonna say, I feel like talking to you and having seen you and knowing where you're from, I feel like you can do all that.
I feel like
I'm talking to a man right now.
Yeah, no, I feel like you like throw knives and chop wood and fucking all that kind of shit.
I grew up my dad was a sheep shooter, so I grew up in the country. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had to, we had to kill our own animals to eat. It's like,
You had to kill your own animals to eat?
Way back in the day, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Now, was it now? I don't know why in my head I'm picturing you fighting the animal. like you have to beat it in a fist fight. I imagine you used weapons.
Yes, dude. They give you a knife. Yeah, but it was like
a knife, dude. I was thinking a gun.
No.
Chop the chicken's head off, right? And it's like, bah.
Yes. I mean, have you done it?
No,
brother. No.
No, like we said, we're talking to a man.
No,
We're not.
Well, I don't know about that. I was, I wasn't much for the blood. Kind of freaked me out. But it was a very, it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, we're eating it. Your turn.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
When you're at an age.
Straws like Armageddon at the end.
Now I'm gonna pluck it. Come on, man. No.
When did you leave? When did you leave to live in LA?
Just about a year before Brotherhood, I came over to LA. Then I did a film called Rabbit Proof Fence in Australia with Philip Noyce, about 3 Aboriginal girls that were taken away from their families and then walked all the way home, like in West Australia.
Shit.
One of those changing movies that just, I met a great Hollywood director that was Australian and just thought, you know what?
Yeah. So did you go to LA like on a whim, like I'm gonna make it, or did you know?
Oh no,
was
dude,
the ball already rolling?
Kind of rolling, but no, you go on. It's like it's do or die, man. It's
right.
Like, you don't.
And
realize,
then you land Brotherhood. It's a pretty good,
Well, but interestingly enough, when I found out, because when I went for my final callback for Brotherhood, I got lost in the car park because I was so pumped on nerves that day when I parked my car. An '89 Ford Thunderbird, by the way, with only one door that worked. I parked. I couldn't remember, so I was in there for like 45 minutes. Trying to find my car, walking up and down. You're just nervous because, you finish the whole networks there and I'm off plane back to Australia, broke, waiting for my next tax return. And so by the time I got in the car, you're winding down, you're thinking, I could have done this better, I'm driving along. And then finally, better turn my phone on. And I had one of those, those disposable $30 phones I'd bought from 9/11 and there's like 30 messages. Don't leave the building, come back, we want you. Oh, what? I'm down, whatever. And I was so emotional, I just pulled over into a fucking liquor parking lot, bought myself a Corona, bought myself a packet of American Spirit Lights. I didn't really smoke. And I sat in my car and drank my Corona in the car park. Just realizing, because I knew they had the job. But just realizing how close to the abyss I was.
Yeah. And then
it wasn't that I was thinking, yes, pumped, whatever. No, I was just like,
holy shit.
God.
Yeah. like you don't want to admit to yourself how bad it really was until that moment.
That you really have put everything on the line.
Coronas and a pack of American Spirits.
Fucking
I made
awesome.
Yeah, and then after I'd finished, I think 2 Coronas and 2 cigarettes, I made a call and said, so, have I got it the job?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool. Did that feel like, were you like, I've made it, thinking like, or was that still, like, what was the moment in your career where you're like, all right, I'm established, I know what I'm doing, I've got it down?
You never really do.
No.
I mean, it's a bit lot like you guys. You feel like this, the roof, somebody could turn off the power and
but
sorry guys, pack it up,
I feel
it's
that
over.
every day because what we do is we just talk.
We all do too.
And if people just stop taking interest in what my opinions are, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you've got a talent, you have a resume, you have proven yourself, you've done big, when you're doing Planet of the Apes types of movies, when you're doing big things like that, you've made it.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like I feel like now I'm going to get a job, no matter what happens.
Right.
I can go and do something
Sure.
or other. And for a long time, you don't. You guys know what it's like. It's a very shared experience. Even for even for the sports athletes, of like you feel like it can all just end.
Yeah.
Or you're only as good as your last job, literally.
Right.
And a lot of these things are cliches, but they are true. You got to keep performing.
Right.
You guys
You
have
have
to
your
keep
prime where you
delivering your
gotta just
content.
bang it out, yeah.
You also increasingly need a sense of independence, don't you? So that you're not reliant, as we all are, on our money coming in from other people and places, and so that you can. That's why I do love with stuff like this. I was listening to another guy called Sam Harris. I don't even listen to him. Of just like the independence that he has now, that is through his subscribers. That he's not
huge.
He can't just be cancelled all of a sudden one day or sacked because
when
he's
you have an audience that will follow you, when your audience is bigger than the mob. You can't be canceled, and you can't lose your job or whatever because it just
and cancel the fact of like financially, you can't pay your bill.
Right. But yeah, it's always there once you've established it and you have that that subscriber base.
It hopefully lets you build a better version of yourself and your content, doesn't it? To really express yourself and find that market out there.
It definitely does.
I had jumps then towards, say, when Zero Dark 30 then came in, and Catherine Bigelow and the excitement of that. At that point, every time you think you can, oh man, I've made it. I thought when I was doing Terminator, we're going to go and do 2 and 3, straight after. Mom, I can finally buy you a house.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
We're $40 million short of going again. But I pictured it.
This didn't buy that much.
But I feel like life has always, kept me... fate has always kept me honest in a way, that you have to keep at the level which, so you're not becoming too lazy or too thing,
Can't get complacent.
Too complacent. But all the same, unlike Jerry, you can't keep beating yourself up as well for so long. Jerry had to learn to love basketball and learn to love himself and his place in it instead of just being, just so upset that he'd never won against Bill or that he wasn't doing his best or that if I'm not trying to, compete, Funny because I went courtside the other night and I'm watching the players hug each other before the game or give some slaps. I'm thinking Jerry West hates that shit. I'd listen to him on the shows. He just talk about how he can't stand that.
Really
swapping a jersey after a game. I mean,
really, he's like that much of a competitor. Yeah.
I saw the clip you had where you were upset about losing to the Boston Irish, which I found offensive, but whatever. And you was like, and it was unbelievable, but I could see that Jerry West was like, I can still smell the halitosis.
That's great.
I know, but the other one, because we particularly picked that for the Boston people that would know that. You know what I mean? Because you see them rushing the court and they are up there, they're in his face, man. And he's there's a couple of pictures of him walking off the court, man. And the thing that really struck me, I've started boxing in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
In the last, say, 30 seconds of a round. No, not like I'm an actor, dude. It's like, the guy knows not to hit me. Dude, no punch in the head.
Yeah. Just the moneymaker. Come on.
Don't go there, But in the last 30 seconds, it really hurts, and you can get really hurt. And the thing for Jerry in those losses, one of the games that I've watched, it comes down to the clock at the end, And some of those games were so tight. And that's what our show is called, winning time. It's that last couple of minutes. That's the time Magic said. That's it. It's all on the line now. And it's great when it comes off. When it loses, man, you've given every shred of your being, and you've just been beaten. And Bill Russell, people I don't think they understand just quite it was like to be beaten by Bill Russell. That was a great. It was a great team, But Bill Russell, man, the dude didn't lose.
Yeah,
right.
That's kind of what we talk
he did
about
not lose
with from more New England stuff. The Patriots. Like if it wasn't for Tom Brady, Peyton Manning was great. Peyton Manning should be the greatest of all time, but Tom Brady was in the way. There was one guy a little bit better right there.
I was there for when they first won.
For the first one ever? Back in 01?
Back in 01, we were shooting, the year when they had the first, when you've won, you kick off the game as the champions.
Yeah.
Because it was just down the river, down the road.
I was going to say, because that must have been when Brotherhood was going on, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was.
Whatever, I guess.
Now, we were going through your IMDb before you came in here.
Yep.
Two things that came up. One, I think you can make a legitimate argument. You're my favorite actor of all time.
Oh,
I was very nervous with you coming in here.
Your catalog is so up this guy's alley. We're rattling through Everest and White House Down and
White House Down. One of my favorite death scenes. Unfortunately, it was you. But
with turning an eye in the thing. Oh my God! We shot that. We shot that in the winter in Montreal, and we shot it in a studio at nighttime. Even though that was one of the craziest shoots we've ever done. We're in a studio, but we're still shooting at night in the wintertime. And in that rain.
Yeah.
So once they turn those taps on for 8 hours, you're not getting out of it. It's just on. The water's there, and you're sitting there in a tent in a studio trying to keep warm.
For 8 hours?
For longer, if you do, like how long a shoot day is. And they're trying to keep
Which worse,
it warm
that or Chappaquiddick? You've had a lot of run-ins with water, man.
It's hard to live with. I mean, that Chappaquiddick's like 4 days in Ted's life, and it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Just like once that comes down, and
that's not an easy life to.
But no, of just what he went through.
Yeah.
And it was, and that's not to say he's good, bad, or whatever, whichever side you want to come down to. It was, and
it's stressful.
No matter
it wasn't
what.
a walk in the park.
that fight scene with Channing, we got hurt on that. Yeah,
I was gonna say you take a kick in the ribs in that, or maybe you give a kick in the ribs.
He cracked two of my ribs.
Yeah,
really?
Did he really?
Yeah. And then I accidentally hit him with a chair that wasn't a prop chair. It was crazy. I think
it's a hardcore match.
Well, it was one of those crazy times, and you're so busy. People forget that things go wrong often. I think Jamie got stabbed by a pen that didn't retract. And I picked up in the rain or whatever, somebody had misplaced the chair, or I picked up the wrong chair, and as I'm picking up and about to bring it down, I'm thinking,
this is a little heavy.
This is a bit heavier than it should be. It's terrible.
And you just kept going. And you did it anyway.
Well, because the rain's coming down, you can't hear, and a reset is a long set. Yeah. And everyone just wants to keep going. It's like. I remember we're shooting that scene on the roof, and I had to lift up where he charges me under the shoulder. I got the rocket launcher, on the roof of the wide. There's some of these ones, And I'm lifting up. I said, I'm going to give you a nice open thing. As I lift it up, you just come in there and hit me there and take me in. But don't worry, you do that and take care of me. And I'll take care of myself. I'll give you a nice open there. So yeah, Jace, yeah. He's training for a wrestling movie. Meanwhile, between scenes. Comes and hit me so hard. He cracked him and banged me into things that caught his shoulder. And then I'm like, all right, he's twisting me around. And I'm just like, you can see me in the pain. We're still shooting. He's like, okay, just keep shooting this vision. Get the shot. Get the shot. You can't stop. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Well, we're getting the sign to wrap up with you, but I wish we could have you for another 45 minutes. This has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much.
To talk to you guys.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think people are usually surprised when they find out you are Australian?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I feel like you're one of the top guys of I was like, oh shit. I thought you were American.
Yeah.
You do the accent well, bro. You pull it off.
Thanks. I love it.
Yeah.
I actually really love it. And I think a lot of American actors don't get into it enough because they don't have to.
Right.
Yes.
But it's and there's so many dialects in this country, and they're wonderful. Jerry's dialect is the beginning of how you understand who that man is and how he came from nothing.
Right.
And basketball was everything to him, to the point that it almost destroyed him.
Right.
And then he learned to love it.
All right, well, we can't wait to see
March 6th, winning time, HBO
birthday.
Max. It's your birthday.
Yeah. It's a birthday present, yeah. So I'll be watching on the 6th. All right,
good, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we got the KFC Radio Blade bet for the month of March, meaning whoever loses this bet, they have to shave their face completely clean with a razor and shaving cream, something neither of us have done since we learned that we got a fat face. So
it's probably been over a decade.
Yeah, I have not put a blade to my face in at least 10 years. So it's based on KFC Radio YouTube subscribers. 1 week I push the channel, the next week he pushes it, back and forth, so on for the month, and whichever person is responsible for the most subscribers is safe. Whoever gets the least subscribers has to shave their face clean. So go subscribe now because it's my week.
Yeah,
and then next week don't listen to him. And then after that, tell your friends when it's my week again. So I want you to subscribe every other week and tell your friends every other week. Otherwise, be quiet about KFC Radio. This is almost, I'm starting to realize, kind of backfiring a little bit because I want all the subscribers possible, but also at certain times I want you to stop. It's a whole thing. But go right now, subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube.